Jamie Insight Craven has been an integral part of the Toronto franchise since his breakout season in Cold War. He spent years grinding through the amateur scene before the CDL, becoming the 2021 Rookie of the Year, and is now going on his 6th year with Toronto. His playstyle is unorthodox and works well with the Toronto system, but one thing eludes him: a champs ring. Insight's career is one of consistency, strategy, and passion that has allowed him to succeed thus far, but the path to get here wasn't easy. The competitive COD grind started in MW3 for Insight, playing MW3 clan battles, and eventually in Call of Duty Ghosts, he wanted to step up the competition, so he started playing on the game battles ladder. He started just like everyone else, playing online tournaments, gaining experience and skill with each match he played, and so when Advanced Warfare came around, he wanted to take things to the next level. So he decided to join a European LAN tournament where he played popular EU teams like Epsilon and TCM. He actually placed 4th at his first event, and at this point he knew he wanted to continue on this path. He even earned the nickname Cash Out Craven because for several years he consistently placed inside the prize pool, earning money at every LAN he attended. He was in a tricky position because the CWL implemented the rule where you can only compete if you're 18 years or older. So while Insight waited to turn 18, he prepared himself for the moment he knew he could play the top talent in the world. That time would come during the World War II season in 2017. Throughout World War II, Insight played on multiple European teams in both online and LAN tournaments, teams like Against All Authority, Black Forest Games, and finally landing a spot on his best team yet, Team Singularity for Black Ops 4. The grind through the amateur scene was tough, but Insight proved his individual potential and others were starting to take notice, and things were starting to look in the right direction as he started his duo-ship with Kleenex. They were making waves through the European scene together and had good placements throughout the year, placing top 12 at the Fort Worth Open, 8th at London, 6th at Anaheim, but their true breakout would come at the 2019 CWL champs. Like I said, Team Singularity were an underdog among some of the elites in the CWL, and nobody really expected them to make a run, but they surprised everyone in group play, finishing at the top of their bracket with a 3-0 start, taking down notable teams like UIU and Luminosity. They unexpectedly made the winners bracket where they lost in round 1, but in the losers bracket they matched up against the former world champs Envy, where they defied odds and beat them 3-1. This shocked everyone, players, fans, and casters included.
And there it is, Singularity, a fairy tale story through the first few days. Pressure on, forced into losers round 1. They send Team Envious home. That's a top 16 finish for them. And the amateur squad progress on.
And that is a handful of former world champs from the previous year.
And in round 2, Luminosity got their revenge, sending Insight and Kleenex home with a top 12 finish. But it was still a great tournament for an amateur team, showing up, knocking out a pro team. So when the Call of Duty League came around, Kleenex managed to get signed by Toronto Ultra based off of his performance in BO4, while Insight remained loyal to Team Singularity and embarked on his new Challengers journey. Within the first few months of Challengers, Singularity became a top team across both regions. They played well in online EU stages, but played even better on LAN against North American teams. Insight won the first Challengers LAN event ever, then the 2020 London Open just a few weeks later, and the success didn't stop there. Later in the season, Insight gained his name as a reliable, consistent AR player, helping to lead his team to more second place finishes in Paris and Los Angeles. Their final tournament win would come in April of 2020 at the Chicago Open. While they didn't win anything after that, they had consistent top 3 placements, placing 2nd at EU Challenger Champs, and I'd say Insight did more than enough to prove his worth as a player, and a former teammate of his would help him get a spot into the Pro League. Prior to the Cold War season, Kleenex put in a good word for Insight, and the Toronto camp agreed that his talent was undeniable. They were interested in Insight and his slower, methodical approach as an AR, so they signed him as a substitute for the time being. As the season got underway, Insight remained glued to the Challengers grind and teamed with multiple players. OGs like Jerd and up-and-coming players like Scrap and Draza. Insight had some really good events, like a Challengers Cup win, but also some poor placements, with a top 64 in Challengers Cup number 7. So there were ups and downs, but by stage 2, Insight was regarded as one of the top amateurs in the game, being named the MVP of a Challengers Cup in March 2021. The timing was perfect, and the preparation was there, and Insight would unexpectedly get his call up to the league just as stage 2 was getting underway. Ultra had just come out of stage 1, going 1-4 and having a top 8 finish, and and had hopes that Insight's play in challengers would translate to the pros, so they made a controversial decision at the time, putting Insight in the starting lineup to replace Methods. Methods was blindsided by this. A lot of fans couldn't understand how a rookie could replace an established AR, but it proved to be the best decision they could have made. Insight shut down all the haters in his debut game against LA Thieves. Now, despite losing the series, Insight dropped a kill record of 18 in S&D, and this turned heads all around the league.
Versus 3, and don't tell me he's going to do this. Do not tell me the rookie is going to pull off something like this.
He's a great positioning. 1v2 situation. Both players from the Thieves know that they need to push him out. Slash with some great shots. He's going to drop, but
it's Temp who's able to drop the first. So really off that rotation. Careful. He's going to cause some problems, but Insight there for the first blood. Kleenex there trying to go for the Insight. He's been playing so well, but can he pull off a clutch? They line up. They line up. There's 2. Can he commit the 1 versus 3? But TJ snaps on him.
That's 3v2 situation. The bomb has to go down for the Thieves. Great shots from Insight onto Temp to eliminate that bomb carrier. Here comes Cammy. Comes TJ over the wall. Slash to know exactly where one player is. Insight with a great kill. Insight. The bomb is going to be down towards that Tiki, but Insight.
1v3 situations. He brought it down to a 1v1 every time. So there's the kill record. Can he clutch out the 1v2? He's going to reach Slasher. He's going to reach Slasher. One more left to find. And it's going to be on to Temp. A 1v1. 18-6 for Insight. And how about your first series?
That just shows the potential he had off rip. Stage 2 saw Toronto finish with a 2-3 record, and going into the Stage 2 major, they were underdogs. They got off to a hot start and beat 3 teams before falling to FaZe. After this, they made an incredible losers bracket run to rematch FaZe again in the grand finals. This time, Toronto, with their new rookie, took them down 5-3, marking Ultra's first major win of the season.
For the win. Sim's going to contest. He's going to get cut to pieces. And what do you know? The greatest underdog going into the tournament. They take the best team in the league the whole way, and they get the job done. Not only do they do it on a respawn, they truly are ultra as ladies and gentlemen.
It's safe to say Insight was on everyone's radar and showed no signs of slowing down. From top 64 in challengers to winning my first pro event in the span of 2 months, words cannot describe how I'm feeling right now. I could cry. Toronto only lost 1 series in Stage 3 before making another incredible bracket run, falling to FaZe in a losers finals rematch. They had a 3rd place at the Stage 3 major and would follow up with another 3rd place in Major 4. But Insight was becoming a top 10 player in the game by this point.
Next looking to go huge, still battling for the streaks is Insight, and he is not missing a bullet. There's some more, and 7 in a row. Artillery earned
1-2 in favor of Toronto Ultra. They put them in this trap. Insight and Cammy were popping off. Insight now with some streaks that
things are incredibly difficult for FaZe, and Insight just so patient. He's seen it BZ do it once. He shut him down the first time. The second is no different. And now, I mean, you got what? Simp with the bomb trying to go for the trades, but Insight too clean. S&D prowess on point.
Toronto would face their most heartbreaking loss at the infamous Stage 5 major. Toronto made a strong run through the winners bracket, punching their ticket to the finals, with Rocker doing the same thing in the losers bracket. In a best of 9 series, the outmatched Rocker fell 4-0, and it looked like the series would be over in record time. But as we know, by some miracle, they reverse swept Toronto, winning the next 5 maps. It was a heartbreaking way to end Insight's regular season, but I'm sure it taught him a bunch of valuable lessons heading into COD Champs. At Champs, they lost their opening match to Dallas Empire before making a run to the grand finals through the losers bracket to play none other than Atlanta FaZe. In this star-studded matchup, Ultra came up short, losing 5-3. For Insight individually, it was a wonderful way to start his COD career. Despite missing out on the gold back-to-back, he was named the 2021 Rookie of the Year and made number 5 on Breaking Point's top 20 players of the year. On top of his elite S&D clutching ability, he proved to be a great anchor for his team. It doesn't take long to notice Insight's slower gameplay from the rest. It's kind of become a joke in the COD community nowadays. His playstyle is much more methodical. He doesn't get into a lot of engagements, and while he's not running down the other teams, he plays his role to perfection, and it works. The fact that he's able to play slower enables the rest of his teammates like Kleenex, which is why they've worked so well as a duo for so long. Vanguard was a roller coaster season for Toronto, seeing the team win the Pro-Am Classic but underachieving the rest of the season. They kept the same roster for the Vanguard season, consisting of Bance, Cammy, Kleenex, and Insight, but they couldn't reach that same success they had in Cold War. The first event of the season, the Kickoff Classic, was an amazing way to start. Toronto would go 3-0 to win the first tournament, and things were looking hopeful.
It's all come to a close. The bubble has burst. The fairy tale has ended. Welcome back to reality. What a devastating performance. Toronto Ultra.
Inside, you guys just came away with that first place victory. How are you feeling being back on top?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting this. Going into this tournament, my practice wasn't the best. Let's be honest. But coming out with the win, I mean, on stage in front of the fans, it's just amazing right now.
When they started playing in stage 1, Toronto quickly fell into the middle of the pack and stayed there for the rest of the season. While Insight had an incredible rookie year, he was about to see what struggling looks like in the COD League. They placed 4th at Major 1 and fell to 11th during stage 2 with a last place finish at Major 2. This was easily their worst split since Insight joined, so things could only go up from here. Major 3 was much better and alleviated some stress.
The back spawns were in, but they did it so perfectly. They get the clearance. Now you get Insight on a 5. And a glide bomb certainly could be of little use. Able to take down number 6. Here we go. There it is. Streaks now. Jamie Craven inside there on a 7 spree. Looking to catch a few more. Makes it 8. And number 9 nails it.
They made a loser's bracket run, beating LAT before losing to FaZe, exiting Major 3 in 3rd place. They got top 6 at Major 4, and ultimately Toronto closed out the season in 7th with a series record of 16-18. Insight individually saw a dip in his performance for a sophomore campaign, managing a 1.03 KD and 183 maps. His best game mode was Search and Destroy, where he averaged a 1.076, still icing up in those 1v1s at every chance he got.
100% like, yeah, I'm going to try and clutch it. I'm definitely going to try it. And this is it. Movement. The guns are up. Oh my god, he hits 1! 1v1, less than 30. Pred, will you stay alive? He may have seen the angles.
He saw him, he did.
He saw him! He saw him! Oh my god!
While it wasn't his best season, a lot of lessons could be learned from that, and the Modern Warfare 2 roster upgrades changed Toronto for the better. Prior to the MW2 season, Ultra announced some big changes coming. With a duo of Kleenex and Insight still on the team, they added 2 younger players to round out the roster, Scrappy and Standy. They were already considered a dark horse team that could compete with the top 3 in the league, and it's safe to say they exceeded expectations during the Major 1 split. Insight is one of the most impactful ARs in Search and Destroy, while playing as an anchor in the respawns, and it really helped his team thrive, especially with the slaying power of Scrappy and Kleenex. They finished Major 1 in the top 4 and then rebounded with a 4-1 record in the second qualification stage with a 13-5 map count, their only loss being to Optic Texas. However, at a Major, Ultra encountered back-to-back losses to Atlanta and LAT, ending the tournament in top 6. This is when internal tensions arose, leading to the removal of Standy in favor of Academy player Hixie.
In practice recently, like I've been playing godlike.
He said that on the fly?
I was probably like, if not the best, like
talking about practice. Practice? Like, brother, we're getting slammed in matches, but we're talking about practice.
A risky move that paid off immediately. The roster change injected new energy into the team, helping them secure a 3rd seed for the Major, and the new Toronto Ultra squad overcame New York, Boston, and Atlanta on their way to the Grand Finals, where they faced Texas. The new and improved Ultra emerged victorious, claiming their first Major win of the season with a 4-2 win over Optic.
Ultra are gonna do it with 10 seconds to go, locking it down on defense in the cruise missile again. If there's the trophy, it might only be Ultras. It takes down Shotzi. It's all up to Ghosty, and he is gone. Oh, Ghosty gets eliminated, and this is it. Final moves from Hook. No, it's done. Toronto. They clutch up into control. Welcome to the big leagues, Hixie. Welcome to the big league scrap, and welcome back to that main stage. Toronto Ultra are your Major 3 champions.
It was a great way to bounce back, but the rest of the season proved to be challenging, starting with a tough Stage 4 and another top 6 at Major 4.
And the throw shoulders, Capsule. He might be the bait. It's a difficult balance now for Insight. This is such an awkward 1v3. It's a snipe from Capsule. Still keeping an eye on the bomb. Hasn't finished the job yet. Wins the fight. Jamie Craven still kicking. Can he take the second? Yo! It's now, oh my god, all down to Brack! And it's not enough. Insight wins the 1v3. That is disgusting.
Back in the day, we had 5 majors, and I still wish we did, but MW2 was the last time we had it. Toronto finished with another 4th place here, just in time for CDL champs. Ultra remained one of the favorites for a deep run in the competition, and they didn't waste any time defeating LAT, Atlanta, and New York, paving their way to the grand finals. There was some classic trash talk.
Yeah, you know, we knew what they were going to come out and do. We know how they play. You know, shut down Hydra, team's pretty ass, so...
Which ultimately caught up with Scrap and the rest of the Ultra squad. The Bulldog was unleashed. They got swept 5-0 for the final match of the 2023 season. It was a sad way to go out, but they got the silver at champs, and Insight was so close to getting his champs ring. He had a bounce back season this year, with Control being his best game mode, and this season perfectly set the stage for MW3 as Ultra dropped Hixie for Envoy. Now by this time, Insight has already established himself as a consistent main AR, and his duoship with Kleenex was paying off. They would only get better in MW3, and the season would start great for Ultra, going 6-1 in the opening qualifiers to earn the 2nd seed going into the major. Insight was in his best form we've seen in a while, with a 1.14 overall KD, and S&D alone, he had a 1.58 with 4 clutches, and his gameplay was unreal. They carried that momentum into Major 1, where they won 13 out of 15 maps to win the entire tournament.
Save his team now in the most dire of moments. 25 seconds on the clock. Smoke is out. And Sam, he's trying to pierce it. He can't get it done. Ultra are your champions. They are your Major 1 champions, Toronto Ultra.
Insight got even better on land with a whopping 1.61 in S&D. The rest of the season would not be as good as the start, but Toronto was still competitive the entire time. They went on to place 4th at Major 2. In Stage 3, they continued to slide against FaZe, but would finish with a perfect 6-0 in the remaining matches.
Late in the game, as he's had a tough one, but still gets the win. Gosh. And Insight just fries him.
Either way, at Major 3, Toronto would make another solid bracket run.
Now 10 more, now needed. It just seems a matter of time. The hometown boys are holding and rolling, trying to shut it down, but you do enough, you fight enough to get them out for now and battle back through on the point. You're still alive in this if you're Optic Tactics, if you survive long enough. I don't know if you can, because Insight dials up a triple, and it's over.
The Optic was red hot on Sunday and swept them in the finals. Toronto was still battling for the 1st place on the season, but they fell short to none other than FaZe, getting 2nd place with a record of 38-12. Coming into champs, Insight was in form. The slow starts would continue though, with a loss in the opening round to LA Thieves. The team managed to win 3 straight series to pull back against the early failure. The wins over LAG, Atlanta, and LAT set up a match against the subliners in the lower finals. NYSL ultimately knocked them out of the tournament, but individually, Insight saw major improvements this season. He led Toronto this event with a 1.06 and a 1.1 in S&D. This would be the last season that he teamed with Scrap, and as Toronto entered the 2025 season, they had high expectations. Questions were raised in the offseason as to whether Kleenex and Insight would stay together after Scrap and Envoy left, but to no one's surprise, the duo stuck it out for another season, and this time around, they picked up Beans and Joe Deceives. I was really optimistic about them to start the season. I thought they were a really underrated team, and while they didn't lift any trophies during Black Ops 6, the team remained a constant threat, earning multiple top 4 finishes and ending the year with a strong showing at the Esports World Cup. Toronto started the season as one of the best teams in the game, securing a number 2 seed for Major 1 in Madrid.
2v2, Kleenex, check your corners. Metals wins another. Nice win. Another for Metals. No, Insight. Oh! Jamie Craven! Retake complete.
They lost their opening match in the Minor 1 tournament, but at the Major, they started with a dominant sweep over Vancouver, losing to FaZe and Carolina for a top 6 finish. In Stage 2, Toronto had another solid qualifier with a 5-2 record.
Rotate back, Insight good for 1. Wow, lots of damage to Nashi, who still forces the gunfight. Insight comes away now on 6 in a row. A critical double there. Optic will get blessed with a couple of spawners from the back, but nice shots from Insight. Now to the A.
Oh, man.
It's 18-9, 8 in a row for Insight.
Their S&D was strong, but the respawns were holding them back as a team. At Major 2 in Texas, Ultra were forced into the lower bracket, but quickly rallied back, knocking out 3 teams to earn a spot at Champ Sunday. They placed 3rd, losing to Surge, and it was a respectable start to the season. While Ultra continued their consistency online, things would take a turn at Major 3. Beans had visa issues, so Mercules joined the team, and they made an incredible run to 3rd place again. Insight had a strong showing for Major 1 and 2, but saw a dip in performance for the rest of the season, which caused some members of the community to call for Insight to be removed from the team. When did this Insight disrespect start? Zuma, Octane, Ben, all saying Toronto should drop Insight, and they should have done this a while ago. I always thought, outside of FaZe, he's been one of the most consistent players since Cold War. Insight has been the backbone of this team since he came in. Yes, he probably should play faster, but dropping him isn't the best move considering there's no other options. I don't think dropping the one player who is actively securing spawns for another Slayer is the right call, and it seems like a lot of people appreciate his playstyle because not only is it pretty different from everyone else's, but it actually works.
My word, it is lethal work. Insight, good luck, mate. You got damage into the first. The second man makes his way down as well. 15 seconds, and Jamie Craven might have done it.
Man, if the Blue Jays are calling him clutch, then you know he's...
After bringing Beans into the lineup, Ultra didn't feel the same as before. They saw a slight dip in performance, and Insight was struggling to keep up. They lost round 1 of Major 4 to Optic, knocked 2 teams out, and lost to Thieves in an elimination match. It was a top 6 exit for the final Major, but Toronto finished the regular season in 4th with a record of 31-18. At Champs, Ultra entered as a dark horse contender. They opened with a strong 3-1 win over Royal Ravens, but were swept by Optic in the next round. A lower bracket loss to Vancouver sent them home top 6 once again. Consistent, but just shy of greatness. The Esports World Cup presented one final shot at redemption. Ultra made a bold roster move, benching Beans in favor of rookie Abe. The gamble worked out early as they dominated pool play. In bracket play, they swept Omit in round 1 before falling to the Vancouver Surge, but they beat Miami in the 3rd place match, finishing the season strong, getting a good payday, and a morale boost heading into the offseason. So now entering the present offseason, Insight announced in August that he was exploring other options, and I genuinely thought he was leaving Toronto, who has now rebranded to Toronto Koi. However, he remained loyal to his duo and decided to stay with Kleenex for another season. Insight is now going into his 6th season with Toronto, now with Kleenex, Real, and Joe. This team has even more potential than last year's, and Insight has proved to be one of the most consistent players in the league since joining. He's had his fair share of ups and downs, but he plays his role to perfection. His stats might not look pretty, but he's doing the dirty work that allows his team to be successful. It takes humility and maturity to thrive in these roles, and he's one of the best at it. So from grinding through the EU amateur scene to becoming the Cold War Rookie of the Year, Insight has proved he belongs at the top, even if that championship ring still eludes him. He stuck it out with Toronto, proving his loyalty and undeniable potential. With this new roster, the stage is set for Insight to finally get his hands on that elusive Champs trophy, making this upcoming season his best chance yet to cement his legacy.